Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a birthday card. This design features stacked punches and stacked die cuts, and it also features the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero set for December. The techniques that I'm going to show you today is how to use colored pencils and baby oil to create a very pretty watercolor effect without using watercolors. The baby oil is in the place of, you may have read online or seen videos where the stampers are using Gamsol. You can get the baby oil a lot cheaper and very easy to obtain anywhere, and it works exactly the same as the Gamsol. Let me move this out of the way and show you how to make this card. The inks I'm using today is going to be two distress inks, Broken China and Fossilized Amber. I will also be using my Versafine Onyx Black. I'm going to be using a Wink of Stella marker, and this is glitter gold. The technique is going to be using colored pencils. So I have pulled these colors out, and I will list all of them down below in the comment section. Because I'm going to be using colored pencils, I'm going to be using baby oil, which I have soaked in this sponge, and I keep this in this little glass. And I'm also using some blending stumps. This is tightly wrapped paper, which you use to dip into the media and spread the pencils. And it'll make a lot more sense as we get into it. Move this out of the way temporarily. Sorry about that noise. I'm going to be using a Stampin Up Balloon Builder punch in this design, and I will also be using a Spellbinders A2 Matting Basics die cut so I can get a little paper saving. And I'm using the Make-A-Wish stamp set with dies by Hero Arts, and the My Monthly Hero for December with dies. And this was a really pretty set. This is my first time using it, and it features a lot of Arabian articles. There's oasis and palm trees, tents and camels and everything, and it goes along with the genie decor, the genie theme. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of rhinestones. I didn't put that on there, but I will. And I think that's all I'm going to be using for this design. Oh, I also need some post-it notes for masking. Let me move this out of the way and get right into it. All right, I'm bringing in my Misty tool, and I'm going to take the smaller of the strips, let me move that up, and stamp the first of the lamps. So I already have the stamps in the place where I need them, so I'm going to just quickly get this lamp without moving it. So I'm going to carefully ink it up. And apparently the whole door too. I'll wipe that off. Okay. Okay, I want that to be a little darker, so I'm going to stamp that a second time. Alrighty. Clean this up. I think this is going to be the very first video in a long time. If I have done it before, it's been a long time, where I'm showing how to do the colored pencils. I've been doing the watercolor media, but I was thinking it's been a while since I've done pencils. So I want to show that. So I'm going to set this aside to dry for a minute because I don't want that to smear. And I'm going to get my white panel and the framelit, and I'm going to cut out the center because I need this to make this front panel. Okay, let me cut this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have cut out the center and I have the panel which I'm going to use for the front of the card. This will be covered, this hole will be completely covered by the holographic panel. And this is how you can save a little bit of paper. Now that I have this panel, I can move on to stamping the front. I bring my tool back and I'm going to set this at 4.5, and I need a piece of paper to protect my misty surface because this stamp is wider than the my panel. So I'm going to sit this around 4.5 to make sure I have good spacing, and I'm going to move this and readjust it a little bit. It's sticky, brand new stamp. Okay, I think about there. Straight, of course, though. Okay. This is just easy stamping. But I want to be sure I get a really dark impression of that. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to slide this down and hold that in place. And I know I'm going to have to move that. Yeah, I'm going to have to move the lantern because I moved the sand. Because I'm stamping this lantern here because, this lamp here because I want to have a guide for placement of the die cut. I don't have to do that, but I'm giving myself a little extra help here. And here is the words. All right, transfer that back to the door. Is that clear? Nope, I'll just move this for now. All right, now more black ink. There seems to be something on the stamp, so the A is picking up a little artifact, a little bit of lint. Let's try that again. This is the good part about using a MISTI tool. You can stamp over and over again where you need it to be. Oh well, we are going to pretend that's all right. And now look, the first one did it too, but I didn't catch that at first. Let's clear this off real quick. And that needs to dry before I move on to the next step with that. I'll move this out of the way. And while I'm in the stamping mode, I'm going to stamp the inside of the card. So let's move that. I've already got those stamps in place, of course. Double check for placement, and it's fine. Stamp this real quick. Make it darker. All right. Need to be sure that it's clean and dry because I'm going to turn the card and stamp some stars on this side. And I don't want to transfer a ghost image. Make that darker. All right, moving right along. And that also must dry. Okay, now the watercolor, the pencil coloring. Before I get started, I want to show you this that I got from Amazon. This was a Gamsol blending kit that was put out by Stampers Anonymous, and you got two of these boards with sandpaper on it and all of these blending stumps. And this works by just taking the blending stump and you just go right over the sandpaper, and this will return your stump to a sharp edge, and you need a sharp edge as you're doing this process. So I just want to show you this real quick, and let me set this aside out of the way. Now I'm going to bring in the watercolor pencil, sorry for that noise again, and just go through and show you how to do this technique. The pencils, sorry, these are not watercolor pencils. These are regular colored pencils. I believe I got these from the dollar store, but you can get more expensive ones. And this works very similar for the watercolor pencils, except instead of blending the colors together with water, you would use Gamsol, or in this case, I am using baby oil, which works the same. Gamsol is colorless, odorless mineral spirits. And it's available at any craft store, I believe, but once I found out I could use baby oil instead, I just went with the baby oil. So that's the way I learned how to do it. So as with the watercolor media, you start with the lightest color. In this case, I'm going to use this light tan, and you go all over. And don't worry about these streaks from the pencil marks. Just give it a really, really good coverage, but I should probably sharpen this pencil, but we're just going to go with it. That's my new mantra. We are going to go with it. So now I have all over with the lightest, and now I'm going to highlight on the right side with the medium color and also on the left side. And I'm going to go right up against these sand dunes. And this will add depth to the image if I do this right, and I hope I do. I am not an expert at this, but this is how I learned how to do it. And I was happy with the result. Now I'm going to take the darkest color and come in from the left edge and just go right along the edge here. And also here. And also here. And now I'm going to go all over again with the light color. Okay, now that I have that done, this is where the blending comes in. So I'm taking my stump, and I'm just picking up some of the oil from the sponge and just blending it. And this will remove all of the pencil marks that are there and blend the colors. It breaks down the wax of the crayon, and the color, the pigments just flow into each other. Okay, so I'm going to go and do all of the watercolor, the pencil coloring and blending, and enjoy the music that'll be playing. Okay, that's the coloring all done. Let me move this out of the way and move on to the next step. For the next step, I need a mask. So I have a regular old Post-it note. That's all that is plain old Post-it. And I have the sticky part up here. And I'm bringing in my sand dune again. And just lay it in place. And I brought in my Tuxedo Memento Black because I don't want to risk using the Versamark because I don't want it to smear and accidentally transfer that ink to my project. So I know that the Tuxedo Black will dry a lot faster, so I'm using that. And I missed a little piece there. That's good enough. This is just going to allow me to mask away the sand dune area and not damage my project. So let's move this out of the way. Get the drawer open. And I'll just take a pair of sharp scissors, not my inkied up ones, and just cut this out. But just inside the line. You want to be sure to go just a little bit inside the line. Okay. Now bring back my panel, and I need that piece of paper again. And I'm going to just take the mask and lay it right in place to protect that area. So this will mask it off so I can do some blending on top. Okay. And I bring in my blending tools. And I'll start off with the Fossilized Amber. I just want to give it just a little bit of appearance of a sun here, not too much. And now the broken china. And I'll make sure that this doesn't move, so I'm holding it in place. And I want to leave this area a little bit open to give a little bit of highlight area. And I can move now because I'm finished. And I don't want to overlap the sun area with the blue area because then that will get, say it with me, green. And nobody wants a green sky. So I'm carefully avoiding that. Very quick. And now it looks like a sky. Now the rest of the card is going to be just as easy as that was, but we need to do a little bit of prep work first. So this is out of my reach. Oh. Come here. So I'm going to cut out these balloons and stack them one on top of the other, and this will give added dimension to the project. So I'm just going to go right through and stamp this paper, pop this paper out, punch this paper out. And you can put as many punches as you want. If you didn't feel like you've got enough height with just these, you could always get more paper and stamp it. So it looks like we have 4. And I don't think that's going to be enough, so let me get another piece of paper. I think I want to have at least 6. Okay. Little ones over there, big ones over here. Now just take your glue and glue them together. I'm using the Tombow, so I have a little bit of time before it will get permanent. Okay, let me quickly glue all these together. Now I need the top one, so I'm going to go right in the center of this foil and punch out one more. And now to glue this to the stacks. You need to be sure that you got good coverage of the glue so that the foil will stay put. So I'm taking a little bit extra time with this to make sure I get the glue all the way to the edge. There we go. You can do this with any die cuts, any punches, words, or shapes. It doesn't matter. But just be sure that you're using a liquid adhesive which will allow you to move it as you need to, because if you were to try this with tape, once the papers touch each other, that's it, they are going to set up. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to do the same thing with the lamp, but I have a little bit of die cut, little bitty die cut, which matches the lamp shade, and then I'm going to go and cut out the extra lamps with the extra white paper. I'll be right back. Okay, and yes, I did get 6 out of this little piece of paper. And here we go with the die cut, all stacked. Okay, now I'm going to just assemble the rest of the card and play some more music. Okay, that's the finished card. I think I made a little bit of error here when I switched to the thicker marker than the thinner marker, but it's all right, I think. And I hope that my cousin liked this. This is going to be a card for my cousin. As I said, you can use any, you can stack any die cuts, any punches, just like I showed here. And I hope that you will try to use the baby oil and colored pencils technique to get this blending that I did on the sand here. There's a lot of videos out which shows how to do the blending with the Gamsol or the baby oil, and I hope you will try it yourself. Don't look at that, that shouldn't be in the screen. I'd like to thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like if you like it. And I'd like to thank my brother for the music that he provides for this channel. He wrote a song special for this card, and I really appreciate all the help that he's giving me. I hope you try this card yourself, and we went over color pencils with Gamsol and a little bit of masking technique, and I hope that you feel more comfortable with your card making after watching my videos. Thank you everyone, and have a great day. Take care.